It's the sort of place you read about in adventure stories, a land of myths and legends that are still alive today, set in a beautiful, wild, unspoilt landscape. A land of vast rivers and dense rainforests, full of breathtakingly tall trees. With its 800 dialects, this is the land of the Papuans, a tribal people whose traditions survive to this day. Situated between Asia and Australia, Papua New Guinea is a remote land with a unique landscape and cultural diversity. It was one of the last countries to be discovered by explorers. The best way to experience it is to be taken by surprise. For example, by a mad scientist who is straight out of a Jules Verne novel.
It's an unreal experience, standing on a treetop. You feel a bit like a bird.
By setting sail on the waters of the sacred River Sepik to discover the legends that continue to shape people's lives.
My name is Charles. My ancestors have always lived on the River Sepik. My brother and I will soon become crocodile men.
Or by sharing in the hopes and dreams of a man who is fighting for the future of his remote mountain village.
Our coffee grows at high altitudes. It's this exceptional climate which makes our crop unique. Listen to me, guys. Don't pick the green fruit. Only pick the fruit that's red, really red.
3 unusual stories, 3 destinies, all of which tell the story of a still mysterious country in which you can only find your way by losing yourself. On the banks of the River Sepik, the best Iatmul warriors are off hunting. They're going in search of a sacred animal which they have made their totem, the crocodile. Legend has it that the origin of the world came about by a giant crocodile wagging its tail. That led to the creation of humans and the earth. Ever since then, the Iatmul people have worshipped this animal. In order to become warriors, the men in the tribe must all go through an initiation ritual. This is the most important moment in the life of a young Iatmul boy. It will transform him forever into a crocodile man. Magic symbols are etched on his skin, like scales.
The initiation hasn't just changed our bodies. It's changed our spirits as well.
The elders pass their knowledge on to us and the wisdom of the crocodile man.
The Iatmul people, a tribe of headhunters, were discovered in the 1930s by an English anthropologist. Today, about 15,000 of them live along the banks of the River Sepik, in clans which unite in the villages, where everyone participates in daily chores. The life of the community is governed by the vagaries of the river, which can rise to the level of the houses during the rainy season. These are nourishing waters, full of fish, but they also contain snakes and crocodiles. Charles and Norbert are making the most of their last carefree days.
My initiation ceremony is coming up. I love playing football with the children, but I know this will be the last time.
My sons must go to learn about their culture. It's our culture that unites the family and keeps us together. People with no culture do not know how to manage their problems. We initiates know how to manage our families. You need to know about your culture, because it governs the laws of the village.
There is a slightly larger building in the middle of the village. It is the House of Spirits, exclusive club reserved for a handful of initiates.
In the house, the clans come together and discuss things. We make all of the decisions that affect village life.
Aranyambu is the wise man of the tribe. He is the guardian of Iatmul rituals.
This flute is only used for big ceremonies, like the one we're about to have. These flutes are kept secret. They never leave the house. Women and uninitiated men are unaware of their existence. It's a secret that never leaves the House of Spirits.
Gods and spirits. Some are protectors, others are more threatening. That's Iatmul mythology. It's a fantasy world in which humans must conquer their demons. This is Goroka, the capital of the Highlands. With its cars and bustling crowds, it is a long way from the calm waters of the great river Sepik. It is also the coffee capital. In the 1950s, Australian gold diggers entrusted some of the region's inhabitants with the task of growing a coffee variety imported from Jamaica, Blue Mountain. The favourable climate in the mountains made it possible to produce one of the most flavoursome coffees in the world. Now the cultivation of this precious bean provides the region's population with its main source of income. It is here, in these remote villages, that the beans which supply the world's best restaurants are harvested. In Kimiagomo, one man had to fight to convince fellow villagers to take part in the venture. With money from selling coffee, they could envisage another future and break out of their isolation.
This school was called Kamui Community School. But a war broke out between two clans and the school was shut down for 14 years. Thanks to the work of our coffee cooperative, we were able to rebuild the school. The money they make from coffee has allowed parents to fund their children's education. They can also buy them clothes, soap, notebooks. That's all thanks to coffee. Good day, sir.
Hello, Jona.
It's always a pleasure to see someone who works for the good of our children.
Jona fought hard for a school to be opened in this village. We've been teaching children here for 6 months now.
In this region, where dialects change from one valley to the next, the children learn to read and count in pidgin, a form of English with Papuan undertones. It is an essential tool for learning to communicate with other clans and tribes.
7. So 28 divided by 4 is, the answer is 27. Okay, now let's count. Here in the Highlands it's different. Some students need to walk 7 to 8 kilometers to school. Some students give up after walking long distance. So I'm feel proud of it when they are improving. And when they catch what I taught them in the classroom, when they catch up, this.
It was on these hillsides surrounding the village that Jona decided they should grow coffee. To begin with, people were sceptical, but today the village has several hundred coffee trees.
Here we grow two different varieties of coffee, Arusha and Blue Mountain. The soil is black on top and red underneath. The roots of the coffee plants take their nourishment from that red soil. Our coffee gets all of its flavor from that red soil. That's why it's such good quality coffee. That one's no good. The yellow and green berries are no good. It's the dark red berries I keep telling you about that we want. Look, when I squeeze it, the bean just pops out. That means it's ripe. I often explain to growers in the cooperative how to select the ripe fruit from their trees. That way they'll earn more money. Now I'm dreaming of a road to the village. I'm dreaming of an even better school. I'm dreaming of a hospital. I'm dreaming of running water. Now we must conquer new markets. Our coffee could be exported, and my dream is for that money to be used for the community.
Up until now, the villagers have made do with subsistence farming, often disrupted by changeable weather. Living conditions are hard. That's why Jona has devoted all of his energy to this venture, convinced that his coffee beans are worth their weight in gold.
Go and sit by the fire. It's cold, sweetheart. Go a bit closer. The only thing that matters to my husband is developing the village, and we support him in that. We pray for him. It all started 13 years ago, and we're finally starting to see the fruits of our labour.
Look at my house. I've devoted my life to this project and neglected my own home. I don't have a nice house for my family to live in. When it rains, it leaks everywhere. But I hope all of my sacrifices will allow my children to have a good education.
Daddy, did you bring any more sweets back from the village?
You've got lots already.
No, they're nearly all gone. You've eaten them all. What a waste.
It's true.
I sell them to my friends.
I'm glad to see my daughter is business-minded.
Hundreds of kilometers away, above these dense forests, another man is living his dream.
It's a beautiful time of day. It's 6:45 in the morning, and I can see the sun rising in the mist above the forest.
Maurice Léponce regularly leaves his laboratory in Brussels to fly over the tall trees of Papua New Guinea aboard his canopy balloon.
It's a very calm, very peaceful way of travelling through the trees.
Maurice has been gliding over the treetops for 20 years. For 20 years, this scientist has been studying tropical rainforests, in particular this one in Wanang. As he flies over this vast forest, this passionate entomologist is looking for the tiniest of creatures. He's doing research into the little-known insects that inhabit this canopy. It is a journey into another world, which sometimes makes him lose all notion of time.
Yes? Do you hear me?
Yes, Jacob. We have to make it quick because we have 30 minutes left.
Okay, thank you, Jacob.
Message copied. To meet you at base 2.
Key to his exploration trips is this 2-kilometre-long rope attached to the treetops. It is a lifeline that he must never let go of.
The rope is attached to the top of a tree. To go from one side of the tree to the other, I clip on the first hook and then the second, so I'm always safe.
The sun is up, and with it come warm winds, which destabilize the balloon. It's time to come back down again.
Careful, tie it down. Don't forget the clip. Okay, that's it.
The idea is to land in a clearing where the balloon is stored during the day and overnight, because it's too hot during the day and there's turbulence. It gets windy, which is dangerous for the balloon, which acts like a huge sail.
This jungle provides a unique playground. It's a sanctuary for biodiversity.
It was always my dream to come to Papua New Guinea. The same goes for most biologists, because it has an incredible biodiversity and a very diverse culture. It's the world's third largest tract of rainforest after the Amazon and the Congo Basin. So it's a phenomenal place for a biologist.
Over 200,000 species of insects live in this jungle, found in the hollow of a tree. The back of this leaf is teeming with life. This is a windfall for these scientific adventurers who have set up their laboratory in the middle of this ocean of greenery, more than 2 days' walk from the nearest town. At their post in Wanang, where living conditions are pretty rudimentary, the scientists attempt to build up an inventory of the seemingly limitless rich biodiversity here. Every day, or almost, new species are entered into their archives, with each specimen more surprising than the next.
This butterfly comes from a family that is the largest in the world. So this butterfly is only found in Papua New Guinea and only found in one province. You don't find anywhere else in the world, and it's so big. And when during the day it flies, you might think it's a bird.
Dominic, can you help me identify these plants, please?
Good luck, thank you too.
These local scientists start out as our assistants. Then they take up the baton and embark on their own projects. The idea is for the expertise to be passed on. Here, there's still a chance to change things. The communities here are very concerned with preserving the environment. We must help them and give them the means to do so.
Research projects here go hand in hand with the education of local people. It's crucial that the environments being studied continue to exist. Under one of the laboratory buildings, Maurice has installed a makeshift bedroom. Comfort is irrelevant when it comes to scientific research. Come evening time, palm pancakes are cooked over a wood fire, and everyone gathers to share their thoughts and to tell strange stories.
At the source of the river Wanang, people tell the story of a woman who turned into a crocodile. One evening, her husband gobbled up her meal. It made her so mad.
What did she do? Did she attack her husband?
Yes, she gobbled him up. And ever since then, the crocodile woman has haunted the river Wanang.
In the marshlands surrounding the river Sepik, it is men rather than women who will be turning into crocodiles. The women of the village cast their nets every day into the river's dark waters, and sometimes they too come across this sacred animal.
We often catch them in our nets. A big crocodile would attack the boat. Sometimes they even capsize our boats. But the little ones like this are okay. They are no threat. That's a good catch. It's the makings of a good meal.
A good meal that has been caught from treacherous waters aboard a simple pirogue carved out of a tree trunk. The vessel is far from stable.
We carve a crocodile's head at the prow of our pirogue. That protects us. Every day we come here to cast our nets. Fishing is women's work. We fill it, smoke, and sell the fish. We eat the fish, but we sell them at the market as well. That gives us a bit of money. Fishing provides for all of our needs.
The big day is approaching. The initiation ceremony will soon take place. Clans will travel from all over the province to take part, and they will need to be fed. So the women of the village are paddling back upstream to the marketplace. In a remote area halfway between waters that are well stocked with fish and land that is more fertile, they barter for food.
How many fish do you want in exchange for your sagu?
5.
Okay, that's fine. Help yourself.
We haven't got many sagu palms where we are, but we have got a lot of fish. They've only got sagu. We've got our own benchmark. For a block of sagu, we give them 5 fish. So we come here to exchange our fish for their sagu. And that way, everyone is happy. Sagu comes from a palm tree, which grows on our marshlands. We cut it open and extract the pulp from inside.
Sagu is what we eat every day. Morning, noon and night. We eat sagu. But you can cook it in different ways. You can fry it and boil it. That creates a sort of paste which the men love.
For Charles and Norbert, the time has come. They have come to the family home to say goodbye to their parents as children one last time.
Ever since I was a boy, my father has spoken of little else. And this is it. The moment has finally come. I really wanted to experience this with my brother. I would have hated to go on my own and for him to be jealous. We're going to become men together.
I don't really know much about what's going to happen to us. We've just heard a few rumors. But I'm not scared. I'm proud to be going there. All of our ancestors went through this ritual. They drew strength from this custom. My sons will learn to defend their land. And they'll be taught about its history and its boundaries.
We'll wait a bit for it to cool down. I'm scared because I don't know what's going to happen to my boys. I am a woman, so I won't be allowed to go and see. I'm going to cry a lot. I won't hear from them for a long time. That will make me sad.
We must build a fence. We'll finish it at night while everyone is asleep. It will be a surprise for the women and children when they wake up. They'll realize that the ceremony is about to commence.
Tomorrow, the ritual will take place in private, behind the cover of these branches, in the presence of fellow initiates. Here in Kimiogomo, in the mountain mist, a different celebration is being organised, and Jona is in charge once again. It is the end of the coffee season. The harvest is over, and everyone has worked hard. They deserve a small reward.
Now we're going to follow tradition. We've decided to get the whole community together. Whenever there's a big event, we invite everyone to a feast.
Once again, Jona has thought big. For the occasion, he's organised a mumu, a feast consisting of a whole pig, braised in a clay oven.
We're going to have a feast. It's a nice fat pig. It's going to be delicious.
It will take an hour to cook, and then we can eat.
An hour is just enough time for Jona to tell everyone the good news.
Come closer, everyone, so you can hear me. Our Kanite cooperative has existed now for 13 Christmases. We've worked hard over the years, gradually making progress. We have never given up. We have carried on fighting. Finally, the government thinks that we are ready to take part in the coffee competition to decide which is the best coffee in Papua New Guinea. So I'd like to thank those of you here who have supported me from the start. You have been behind me, you have listened to me, and it is your coffee that they're going to be tasting. We must make sure that every coffee bean is top quality, so that if we win the trophy, it will remain in these mountains for good. When we sell our coffee, we are conned. Its true value is kept hidden from us. The exporters lie to us. They refuse to acknowledge how good our coffee is. If we win, we won't need them anymore. We'll be able to sell directly to foreign distributors, so we'll get a better price, and all of the producers here will earn more money. The whole village will benefit.
Get ready. We'll be serving the food soon. We must all work hard to export our coffee. That way, we'll have the money for development. We'll have cars and solid houses, we'll get a nice church built. We'll have lovely houses with corrugated metal roofs. All will be well because the coffee will take care of us.
Thank you, Pastor.
They are not afraid to dream big in Kimeagomo. Here, they have always known how to make do with very little. But everyone is entitled to progress. Even a remote community in the mountains of Papua New Guinea, whose future may lie in these coffee beans which are being prepared to be sent to the town.
Luckily, we elders are here to lend a hand. Buy me a present in Goroka to say thank you, will you? I don't work for nothing.
Okay, once the beans have been washed, they need to be dried. That is also an opportunity to remove the husks. When we sell our coffee, it is of variable quality. The exporters cheat and buy all of it at the lowest price. But that's a good bean. It's clean and healthy. It's perfect. It was picked at the right moment. They did a good job. Careful, we're losing the beans. Lift the sack from underneath. Mind you don't spill any. Gently. We must hurry. If it starts raining, the road will be impassable. Here in Kimeagomo, we have no lorries, but we have got coffee. So whenever we need to transport our coffee, we've got to call for a driver.
This coffee lorry also serves as a taxi service for the community. Vehicles are so rare here that you'd have to be mad not to take advantage of it. Especially as the rainy season is approaching, this might be the last chance to go into town.
When it rains, I don't travel. The road gets too slippery. It's more of a mud track than a road. It's dangerous. You see all these bends, all these cliffs? It's impossible to drive along here when it's slippery.
The cargo is bound for Goroka, the coffee capital. The die has been cast. Now the villagers must wait. In 1 week, they will know whether or not their coffee is the best in Papua New Guinea.
That was another short night. Am I still too heavy?
Yes, Maurice. You must have eaten too much sago. It's amazing. Very nice. Looks like a big moon.
In Wanang this morning, Maurice is out exploring. He knows that the early bird catches the worm. He has come in search of a very special colony of ants.
I'm navigating towards an extraordinary tree called a Canarium indicum. It's home to ant plants.
He has spent days scanning the canopy for ant trees. They represent a fascinating partnership between vegetation and insects.
It's a mutually beneficial partnership because the ants find shelter and the plants get food. According to my laser rangefinder, I am 33 meters above the ground. Being level with the treetops allows me to make observations which would otherwise be impossible. These are magical moments.
I'm looking forward to seeing the laboratory, what's inside. It's quite exciting.
In most studies of the forest, especially tropical rainforests where the trees are very tall, we only have access to this very limited layer at ground level. But half of the biodiversity is found above ground level. It's very important that we can collect samples and make observations. Using new contraptions like the balloon, we can see how the treetops are distributed spatially in 3 dimensions, vertically and horizontally, and we can see what the connections are between these trees and what allows for the passage of ants, for example, from one tree to another.
Jacob, look, these are the ants I talked to you about. These are Eucophila. I think in Tok place it's Kuracum. Yes, this is really amazing because they make a leaf nest, so you see how aggressive they are. As soon as you have something there, it's attacked, you see. It's amazing.
No, but it's like a teacher, and sometimes I can say it's like a father too.
Jacob has found an exceptional teacher in Maurice. Thanks to him, he has gained an understanding of his country's hidden treasures. Inside the plant, the ants are scuttling about, rushing to protect their larvae. The insects live in total harmony with their host. The plant makes its network of galleries available to the ants, and in exchange it feeds off the nitrogen present in their excrement.
There are some fascinating co-evolutions. How did a plant come to create this sort of structure to harbour ants? There are some surprising things in nature. What we've discovered here is so unique that it's beyond most people's wildest dreams. I consider myself very lucky to be able to work here.
The day has come on the banks of the River Sepik for the crocodile men's initiation ceremony. In this sacred enclosure, preparations are already underway.
I've made this headdress with plants from the bush. It's for the crocodile dance, in honor of the boys. The dance will go on all night, and tomorrow morning the scarification of the boys will take place.
We will do a dance to invoke the spirit of the crocodile. We call it Palangawi. It will awaken the spirit of the crocodile, and the dancers throughout the village will be possessed. These men will all dance together, and the spirit will swallow up the young crocodiles.
The women bring the food that they have spent days preparing. They are in charge of the village, while all of the men disappear into the enclosure. In front of the House of Spirits, onlookers are getting impatient, when suddenly the men exit the House of Spirits in a trance, dancing in single file. This is the spirit of the crocodile swaying to the sound of the drums and the chanting. It's a repetitive dance that will continue late into the night. The chanting must not stop. Neighbouring clans have arrived to assist the men of the village. Together, they invoke the mythical crocodile, which will symbolically appear to devour the young boys in the tribe. Facing the crowd, Charles and Norbert are the youngest of the future initiates. But like the others, they will have to endure the ordeals of this ritual.
You'll be fine.
That's it. He's ready. You can start.
Chew it, chew it.
Chew it and swallow the juice. It will do you good.
That's my nephew. I've come to support him during this ordeal. I gave him betel and ginger to ease the pain.
That's good. He's taking it like a man.
This ritual is central to our culture. This moment, from last night's crocodile dance to now, is the most important in a man's life. It's very difficult. Not everyone can do it. It's not something that can be erased and redone. You're working on the skin of a man. After the ritual, we're going to teach them the secrets of their culture. They will be an integral part of the community. I remember being in his position a long time ago.
Jona has had to fight as well.
Thank you, my friend. Goodbye. Thank you for bringing me this far. I'm not far from my village now. See you another time. Thank you.
He has defied the prejudices of the naysayers, who claimed that a small highland village had no place in a national competition. For him, too, something has just changed irrevocably.
Children, come with me. I've got some big news. Come on, quickly. My dear friends from Gomo, I have something important to announce. I'm going to tell you about my trip. As you know, we entered a major coffee competition. We were competing alongside producers from all over the country. There were tasters there from all over the world who came to select the best coffee in Papua New Guinea. And for the first time ever, a cooperative from Gomo, this tiny remote village high up in the mountains, has won the competition. Man of the match! We are the prime ministers of the coffee world. Now we know we have the best coffee in the country.
The time has come to leave Papua New Guinea.
Hello, base. This is Wanang 3. Do you read me? I've got a team leaving on Friday. You need to pick them up on the edge of the jungle.
Maurice has finished exploring, at least for now. But before leaving, he wants to give Jacob one last gift, a chance to see the treetops for himself.
Okay, so today the weather is very stable, there is no wind.
Yeah.
But we don't have to wait too much, as you know.
Okay.
So I think maybe not more than half an hour just for training.
Okay.
And after we will do longer flights.
Okay.
You alright?
It's wonderful to see him take off, both metaphorically and in reality. And this way he gets one final training session in the balloon. It's a great opportunity for him.
Jacob is flying solo over his native land. He must now take over the important mission of defending the fragile hidden treasures of this wild and authentic land, where reality still merges with fantasy. It is land inhabited by spirits, but also by people with ambitious dreams.